It isn't an industry, it's an informal sector where everyone just works together because of their passion for the craft.
Do you believe that it's going towards becoming an accepted industry? And I speak not only of theatre, but of the arts, the various performing arts in the city, in the country.
I mean, it's an uphill battle, and everyone has been fighting the good fight for many years. But I think we'll get there. I think there's a lot of good work happening currently, and I know that now, thanks to the pandemic as well, there's a lot of conversations that started again. And I know that these conversations happen, and then a few months later we'll forget about it. But we will bring it up again, and then some of those conversations do materialize into positive things. So I do think that work is happening. For example, there was the NCPA launched this research program called The Art of the Possible, where they commissioned the ArtX company to find out what the state of affairs and training levels and stuff in the country with theatre technicians was. And it's something that all of us have been talking about for many years, and just no one had ever done a study to find out what have people studied, what are their skills, what do they think the gaps are, would they like to learn? And all of this will eventually lead into a training program for people, theatre technicians and managers and stuff. And the report actually, if you read it, it'll tell you a lot of what we already know.
Right.
There are different pathways to entry. Most of the people just do it because they have passion for the craft, and there's no really defined way of learning things. And we know all of this. But the fact that then someone took that, did the research, published it into a paper, and now hopefully something good is going to come out of it. So I think slowly we are making progress.
Can you throw some light on some of the findings? Just so it forms a bit of a backdrop to our chat going forward.
So I think some of it was, like I mentioned, the challenges when people are entering the theatre, and how you need to, so one of the things that struck me is that you need to have already some sort of cultural capital to know that, working in the theatre is possible. So either you have family who's part of the theatre, or you had an extracurricular program at school, or, you took part in plays or TESPO, that TESPO exists, and that's sort of your entry into it. Otherwise, you have no access. It spoke about lack of funding, lack of recognition from the government, because theatre comes technically under the Ministry of Culture, but it also comes under, I think, 10 or 11 other departments. There is no sort of standard overarching policy that governs our industry. It isn't an industry, it's an informal sector where everyone just works together because of their passion for the craft. And then it talked about other challenges that people face in terms of training. So why they choose not to study. So one would be that because there'd be a loss of income. One would be that they don't know where to go and get this sort of training.
And also, what do you do with that afterwards?
Exactly.
Right?
Because there is no understanding of what sort of sustainability in the career can exist. Because even if I do have these skills, what do I do with it? What is the next progression that I can make in the theatre? And it's stuff that even, I grapple with. I don't know what I want to do next, or I don't know what the next logical step would be. It's not a corporate job. So how do you go? Which direction do you go? You don't unless you're lucky enough like me to have mentors who I can go to and ask questions. How do you know what you should be doing? So there's all of those challenges that are stopping people who are interested in working in the theatre from pursuing a career in there. They have to take up diverse jobs to make ends meet. They have they're learning multiple skills, but also the learning is erratic because of the different people that you're working with. And then, of course, the study goes on to give some recommendations for what the NCPA can do specifically, because they commissioned this report, and what you as an individual could do, or if you are a theatre company, what is the kind of stuff